Hello and welcome to my first video with commentary, which is going to be awkward as hell, but we'll go for it anyway. This is the Club 100 League Racing Championship, where we have 2 races per round, 1 round with no tyre wear in a spec car, which is this Aston Martin that I'm driving right now, or that's on the screen, sorry. And then a second race reverse grid in a Group 3 car of your choice with tyre wear. We'll get onto that later, as the Aston Martin races will be up first. The first round is at Blue Moon Speedway, Infield A, which is a tricky track. Not gonna lie, not a fan of it. But here we go. So I'm 5th on the grid, which is actually my worst qualifying in this league. I was always on the front row last season, but however this season, not quite as well. So, going for the start. Not sure how we beat the 2 guys on the right hand side of the line, as it wasn't a full start check. They just must have been worried, but Mark defending pretty early on, very aggressively. And apologies for a little bit of lag, because this is a replay I've downloaded that I've then re-recorded, so I'm lagging a little bit because it's from their perspective. Diving up the inside of Mark, I'm just mainly focusing on Nathan, as I know he's probably going to be the one trying to bolt at this point, but I make a mistake there and Mark, sure enough, pulls it onside and he gets the move done, annoyingly, but honestly I was just happy to keep out of trouble, and I didn't really have the pace for the front 4, well for the front 2, sorry. Mark and Nathan were very quick, but as you see, Super GT, may have heard of him, he's already going for Nathan, which I was pretty glad to see, because we needed them to fight, because we'd already dropped out the toe in the first lap. Steve gets a lovely cut back here, underneath Nathan, who was runner-up to me last season in the championship, and Nathan just clips the grass. Oh, that was close. Lucky to hold on there. Skim forward to lap 3. As you see, it's carnage up in front. And I'm just happy to be here, to be honest. Holding on to their shirt tails. I don't really, have the pace to go and sort of push anything at the front. So just sitting in their toe and just sort of using them to sort of get my pace up, get my rhythm up is absolutely fine by me. But then Steve goes a little bit wide and lets Marky Boy just get out the inside, and it just costs them both time. And then when Steve comes through this corner, he's actually lost the toe to Nathan. And Nathan's pretty quick. Once Nathan's out your toe, it's pretty hard to get him back. And as you see, Steve's already conceded that he's not in the toe anymore, so he's taking a nice wide line. I'm debating which side to go at the moment, which side to follow. On board now, you can see I'm lifting, just calmly sit behind. I actually need to hit Steve here, right there, because it's just all pinched up a little bit quicker than I was expecting. But it's all good. Sitting in 4th, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm annoyed that I'm seeing Nathan get away, but I can't really do much about it. That penalty was for this corner here. Well, the corner that would have been there. I somehow managed to cut it, even though it was almost impossible to cut. We can bleed our penalties off like the old system, so it's okay. So anyway, moving forward to lap 8 now. Steve's made a move mark, and he's just made contact. And I've managed to sneak through there. Take advantage of that little bit of contact there. And at this point, I can see Steve was pretty eager to get going, see if he could catch Nathan. So I want to go with him. I don't want to be the one stuck at the back. So at the moment, I'm in a pretty good position here, to be honest. Pretty happy with my lap times, all in 11s. And then here, I make a stupid error. Hit the wall, drop out of Steve's toe, and Mark's on me. And Mark is quite an aggressive racer. He won't be shy of going for a move. I couldn't be bothered to defend this because it just would have cost so much time, so I let him have his thing. He was quicker than me on this day, to be honest. His pace was really good. But then a few corners later, this happened. He clips the grass, and off he goes. And to be honest, at that point I thought I'd be stuck in third through the rest of the race. Here he is again, just clips the grass, spins out. So unlucky. He'd been driving really well from that point. And then, yeah, we skip forward, and you can see I'm slowly catching Steve, and I actually managed to catch him. I'm back into his toe. With 5 laps left. It's a 20-minute race, but I've added the 16, as you can tell by the poor editing. But yeah, I'm back on with Steve. And at this point, I'm not really bothered about passing him, because I'm just happy to be here. There's no point fighting him, because it just wastes time, it's risky. But Steve was pretty concerned I was going to pass him. He defended, like so. And I was surprised about that. I was no intention to try and cover the inside at this point, to be honest. With the amount of time left, I didn't really fancy leading it, because I didn't think I was too good at leading it at the moment. Trying to stick as close as I can to Steve though, literally on his bumper. Very good clean driving. It's a good thing about this league, we can really trust each other and race each other properly. Unlike you can in daily races, where if I'd got that close to him I probably would have got a penalty anyway, even if there was no contact. So yeah, this track's pretty tricky. Once again in the slipstream, he pulls to the inside. I'm really not phased. I wasn't really planning on doing anything. Still got a bit of time left. So we skip forward now. He made a bit of a mistake coming out that corner, so I got a bit of a run there. I thought, oh, we'll go for it. We'll see what happens. I've got a few laps to work it out if it's going to work or not. Held it tight. I was pretty happy with that move. Give him space on the outside, I think, because he's looking for it. No. So, leading the way for the first time. In second, obviously. And Steve gets a nice run here. And I'm looking at him on the radar, and I'm looking at him in the rearview mirror, and he backs out, and I was too busy looking at him, and completely missed the corner. Like an absolute spanner. But it's alright, I'll learn from that mistake. Right, here goes Steve. Now this is penultimate lap now, and if you just watch it, he hits the wall. So, I mean, if that was a daily race, I'd probably get a penalty for that as well. There we go, up the inside. I'm surprised he left it open. But yeah, we've gone through, we've driven out the corner nicely and got a good exit. No chance of coming back. Now, leading on to the final lap. I sort of forgot about track limits here, to be honest. I didn't think he'd go down to the apron, and then he did, and then I was a bit miffed at that. It was allowed though, it wasn't a problem, I just forgot and I was annoyed at myself. And then, when I said I'd learnt from my mistakes, I lied. And Steve just does the exact same move to me. I was too busy once again, sort of distracted, sort of trying to pay too much attention to what he was doing, not focusing on what I was doing. Which was quite annoying, to be honest. And, as you can see, coming out the final corner, we didn't manage to get back past him, and the slipstream's good, but it wasn't good enough to send us back past, unfortunately, which is a shame. But third place in the first race, I'll take that, especially at this track. I was not looking forward to it at the start, not at all. So now we move on to race 2, which is the Group 3 car of your choice, and I've chosen the Viper. I actually won the season last year with a Viper, but it was Group 4. Same types of races, so except it was the Group 4 that was the car of choice and the Group 3 that was the spec car. So this is a 30-minute race, 5 times tyre wear, and this is at the Nürburgring GP circuit, which is also a reverse grid, so I'll be starting third from last after finishing third in the Blue Moon race. A good thing about the Viper is it is pretty quick off the line. Also, you'll notice there is another car with a similar livery, an Aston Martin. That's my teammate Eric, RCMB2, I think. Yeah, RCMB2, starting in 4th. So with the blue team, BB Racing. But yeah, starting from the back. I was looking forward to the starts of the Viper, and you just watch. So we started 12. We've already made 4 positions almost there. 5 positions. I've taken it quite easy into this turn 1. Just trying to hug it tight so I don't push anyone out wide. And already we're up to 7th. Almost into 6th. Alex holds on quite well here. He's the one that actually designed this livery, so props to him. He did a cracking job with it. There's my teammate just getting shoved wide, unfortunately, by Cal. And we've got in a bit of a sandwich here with the white team. Now going down the outside here is always a bit of a risky move. Luckily he gives us the space. I think I earned the space, to be fair, but you've always got to have a bit of faith in people when you're going around the outside. So up into 6th from 12th is definitely a great start, especially with all my rivals still behind me, such as Steve, Sub GT, Nathan, who won the first race. All well down the field at the moment. Coming to turn 1, lap 2, Cal has a bit of an issue. I don't think he'll like me for showing him that, but then I nearly have an issue myself, as I nearly T-bone Alex. Wouldn't have been very good if I'd messed up the paintwork he designed on his bumper. There we go. And unfortunately he has an issue here. I think he had a power cut, which unfortunately sent him off because he was too busy looking at what the hell was going on, and then unfortunately he disconnected later on. Now here's Steve, already up in 6th. He's only just behind me actually, to be fair, so he has made good progress from the start. Passing Martin is now directly behind me. We're all on soft tyres because the softs just seem to be the best for this. And I'll just cut in here as we tried to dive at the inside of Kirif, but he didn't actually know I was there because he was too busy focusing on Peter in front. So we had a bit of a collision there, and that's so we're behind him on lap 3. Hopefully we won't be behind him for that long, but you watch. This was the most frustrating thing ever, with Steve right behind me, and you've got Peter in front, Kirif next to him. Kirif's also got a YouTube channel, check him out. And yeah, this is just a traffic jam, and it just gets very interesting as Steve gets a nice run here, making the most of us all parked up. And we're actually going to go 3 wide into here this time, so going around the outside is bad enough. 3 wide this time, and I come out on top, which I'm obviously happy about. Unfortunately Peter did end up in the gravel, but I mean, if you're going to go around the outside of Steve, the Shadow Realm is going to happen, isn't it? Here, unfortunately I make a little mistake. I just get caught with Kirif and I just leave Steve enough room to get around me. That's the thing with league racing, you can be much more respectful. In daily races, probably would have just sent Steve off. Not gonna lie. But the Viper's quick. Nathan's in the pits, and this caught me out because I was expecting to do a 1-stop, and that's within 10 minutes. So that was very surprising and made me think about what the hell I'm doing with my strategy. I managed to get back past Steve, which was crucial for me, I think, because he was quite pacey at this point. Try again with Kirif, just not having it. He just does not want me going past. And Steve at this point gives up on battling, and so does Mark, who we were fighting with in the first race. Steve comes out, there's Nathan, the other rival who won the first race. And they're not gonna pass him, but Steve is in clear air. He's actually still just behind me, that's how short the pit lane was. So he's actually just gaining free time here. I gave up trying to pass Kirif on track and just went for the pit stop instead. It was the only way it was going to happen, I think. So we've come in, followed them in. A lap later, I knew they'd undercut me. I didn't know how many of them had undercut me though, which is what caught me out when I came back on track. As I come out and see not just Steve, Trev's obviously in front of me, but he was in front before, and Nathan and Mark all passed me. Nathan misjudged his braking point a little bit there and just caught the back of Steve. But yeah, that was a bit hectic, but now settling into the race. You've got a nice train of cars here. Trev in the Dodge, Steve in the Lexus, Nathan in the McLaren, Mark in the McLaren, and me in the Dodge. And this first sector is probably one of the best sectors of my life. As we come into here, Steve's looking at Trevor. I'm feinting to make a move on Mark, which he falls for it by the looks of it, because he goes a little bit wide, and I just sweep around the outside of him. 1 done, 3 more to go. But then at this moment Trev makes a little mistake and just gives Nathan a nudge. He then tries to let him back through, and Nathan has a little half spin of his own, and I just take all two, sorry. So in the space of one sector, I've had 3 of them, and there we are on board. So you see I cut up the inside of Mark as he goes wide. I just sweep round the outside of him. And then watching back in front, you can see Trev here goes back for, I think he just misses breaking point a tiny bit and gives Nathan a push, and Nathan sort of half spins back into Trev, and I just take the space. And yeah, thanks for that present. Now back with my mate Kirif, who never wants to let me through, and as you see again, I've just sort of nudged the back of him, lost all momentum, and here comes Nathan. No matter what I do. But as you see, Nathan here thinks about going up the inside Kirif, hits the curb and just nearly loses it, very close to losing it. Thankfully Kirif pits, so I don't have to bother passing him, because I wasn't going to anyway by the looks of it. And we've actually caught Super GT pretty quickly. I was driving very smooth because at this point I still didn't know what the strategy was. I was saving these tyres like no tomorrow really, because I was expecting maybe this would be it, we'd go to the end, and they just tried to undercut really quickly. But it turns out they all thought it was going to be a 2-stop, and I didn't. I was being very smooth here, and I was very comfortable sitting behind Steve. But I did want to get past him because I felt a bit more comfortable in him. Unlike the Blue Moon race, I felt like I'd lead this one. But coming into it now, sort of like Nathan, he doesn't quite catch that curb right, and I get the run on him, get the nose up the inside, and it's job done really. He tried to get the cut back, but I was blocking his path, and that was me into the lead. So from 12th to 1st in 10 laps, and a pit stop. Not bad at all. And I was really looking forward to these Group 3 races because I felt really good in Group 3. Group 4 is just, I'm not quite up to speed, but Group 3 I feel really good at. Steve here just taking a bit more than he should be, getting himself a penalty. And he actually serves it here, which is interesting because you didn't have to serve it then. He could have served it at the end of the race. Like, as long as he doesn't take it across the line. That's all we care about with this league. So he took it there, which actually was crucial for me because he then gave himself quite a big gap to me. It was about 2 seconds when he came in the pits. And I knew that I could, that's sort of like an undercut amount. So he could I could come out in front of him, but then this happened, which just solidified the deal really, because I wasn't sure about pitting. But because Kirif got out in front of him, this really sealed the deal. Because it just held him up enough that I could easily, or comfortably, let's say, make a pit stop and still come out in front. Steve making a nice move there, cutting it still once again a bit fine, and getting himself a 1 second penalty. But I say he'll get rid of that at the end of the race. Does a lovely move around the outside of Kirif and gets on his way, but too little too late at this point because I've already got back to the pit lane, and as you'll see, I'm able to come out in clear air and with a gap to spare as well. So now I'm on fresher tyres, I'm ahead with more of a gap than when I came in, I think. So it's works out well for me. Now this is my fastest lap. I'll try and talk through it, but I'm not very good at talking through it. So braking in turn 1, I think just before the 100, just making sure you get it stopped, getting a nice drive out of this first turn. You don't need to open it too much because these FL cars understeer a lot. Just hug this corner and get the drive out. I really V this corner, so I go really narrow in, hug it really tight, and then try and really straighten off this one, using the cuts, using the gears and the lifting off the throttle to get the nose in. Driving back down, you see I'm 3 temps up on Nathan's time, who's done the fast lap at the moment, which is I think a 53.5 from memory. Yeah, no, that's about right. Anyway, driving down the hill, important to get a good exit there. Viper's got good speed, and I'm not shifting all the way at the end because the power is a bit, revving it out doesn't quite give you as much power as just below, so that's why I'm doing that, before everyone says you're shifting too early. Still 2 temps up. Nathan's McLaren does handle a bit better than this Viper though, so it's making it up through the twisty sections. The first sector is really good for the Viper for some reason. Braking in the middle of this sort of weird tarmac section. This is where I made a little mistake though. You see I lost the back end on the way in. That just cost me maybe a tenth, but as you'll see, a tenth matters. So now we're not purple anymore, but we're 4 tenths up on my personal best, which I can't actually see on that lap chart, so I'm not sure what that was. But coming here, making sure I keep the car stable over these curbs. You can cut them quite a bit. Taking a nice early shift in the third. It really drives well, this Viper. Hugging it tight, find the corner, get a nice exit out. And we come across the line for a 53.6. Yeah, and I think Nathan, do we check now? No, he did 53.5 I think. And you get points for fastest lap. But we come across the line and win. With a lovely celebration. And I really need to work on those because I'm going to run out of bumpers if I keep doing it like that. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this first video. It's a bit awkward from me, but I'll try and... these are all live streamed as well on DW commentary. So check that out. And you can check out the previous season as well. That's my race gear. That's actually what my helmet hopefully will look like this year for karting in real life. And of course, be sure to check out Kirif Kart, who was also in that video, and Super GT of course, because he's a legend, isn't he? But yeah, and check out Club 100. And finally, here is the results from that round. So you can see on the bottom half of the screen, you've got the 2 races where Nathan won, I won. And then on top half, you can see the standings. You can see Nathan's got 1 extra point per round because he got fastest lap. But yeah, thank you for watching, and hope to upload some more soon.